The snow has come here at our cabin and it is looking so beautiful. It's a little winter wonderland and we love when that happens. It's my favorite time of year down here. But before the snow came, we were able to get our water tank room all wrapped up for the season and boarded in and ready to actually collect water once we again have rain. So we didn't do the eaves trough yet because it started to snow and we won't be able to collect rain anyways. And so we'll do that in the spring and everything will be all ready. But I thought I'd show you guys how we finished up building that water tank room and putting the tank inside and waterproofing it and all ready for the winter, and we're excited that the winter has come. We had previously got the shed for the water tank all framed up and studded, and now it's time to put on the roof. And so we first put on the OSB and screwed that down onto the rafters. My husband, Eric, and my grandfather worked together on doing this.
A little bit more, if it will.
Good?
Yeah, let's put her in there and then tap her.
After the OSB was all screwed down and on, we then put on the metal roofing, which is the same roofing we have on the whole cabin. And we just like that.
Oh, I think we're gonna be good after.
Yeah. Must be covering more than we thought.
Must be.
We chose to go with metal roofing because it lasts longer and it sounds so nice when it rains, and it will work well for collecting the rainwater. Once the roof was on, it was then time to insulate, and we use batt insulation. And the reason we're insulating is because we want this room to stay above freezing, or at least a high enough temperature that the water won't freeze in the wintertime. That is our goal. So inside of this shed, we also have two little doorways that connect it to underneath of the cabin. The entire cabin eventually will be skirted and insulated so that there's not air moving underneath of it. And the goal will be that the heat of the cabin will help keep underneath there warm. And we're gonna have a thermometer down there, and hopefully our plan is that it'll stay close enough to zero that the water tank won't freeze. We have designed it that if we had to, we could put in a vent from below where our stove is in the cabin down under here and into this room to help keep some hot air circulating. So next winter, when we have this water tank filled and it starts to dip in temperature, we'll monitor the temperature down under here, and if it starts to get below freezing and the tank we're thinking might freeze up and the pipes to take the water up into the cabin, then we're going to have to add some type of ventilation down. We have it all set up that we can do that, but our first strategy is to see if it'll stay above freezing without having to heat down here. We had lots of family and friends helping us with this project, and it's so much more enjoyable working on a cabin when you have people to do it with you, and we're very thankful for everyone that has helped us with not just this project, but all of our projects here at the cabin.
There it worked.
Once the insulation was all in, we then put OSB over top, and that's just to keep any animals or anything from chewing at it and just keep it all secure. And the reason we have left the end wall open is that we need to be able to put that tank inside. Feels so level. After the OSB was covering all the exterior walls, my friend Danielle came down and she helped me put the house wrap on just to protect it. And eventually we'll be putting siding on this, probably siding that matches the cabin, which is hemlock, board on board. But for right now, we don't have any of that. And so for the winter, we're just gonna leave it with the house wrap and then do that next spring or summer.
Okay, okay. Look, got it. I'm just too short. Oh, here, wait. Do you want to switch? What? No, okay.
Got
this
it.
is close enough. Yeah, this is perfect. Have a little baby.
If I could hit this thing, it'd be helpful. So once the shed was all built, we then went up to my grandfather's shed, which he has out back of his house, where we have been storing our water tank. We got that onto the four-wheeler trailer, my dad and my grandfather, and we brought it down to our cabin with the four-wheeler. It's not too far of a distance, but it was long enough that we ratchet strapped it down and drove pretty slow, so it took a little while. We also built a cover for the tank so that nothing would get in from the top, so we finished up building that before we brought it down to the cabin. Once the tank was at the cabin, before we put it into the shed, we first had to add the lining.
You take a corner and try
Okay. Which side?
I'd say the green
I
side.
think the green side up, the way they have it folded.
Okay. And then we go this way? Okay. So what's the plan? We gotta
See, we gotta get it pushed down in without ripping it.
What are we gonna do in the corners?
It's just
Like
gonna be
fold
not
it?
Tuck them
folded.
down the best you can. The water will push.
Yeah.
Once the water goes in,
Let's dump on this.
Stuck on this, we'd rather find the center and put that down in the middle.
Before putting the tank under the cabin, we first had to add the liner. And so we get this liner from CoverTech Inc. They're a company in New Brunswick in Canada, and they sell pond and tank liners. And so this product was called a potable water tank liner, and it was for this purpose to line a tank of water that's going to be consumed. And it was about a 20-foot by 10-foot sheet of liner. And it cost us around $200 for this size of liner. And so this was a bit of a trick to get this in. It took everybody, Eric ended up having to get inside the tank, and we had to get it all laying right, and it was pretty durable, so it's kind of a thicker liner, and so we had to get it all in the corners, and the corners was the hard part. We had to fold it a little bit and then slice the top section so we could lay it over the edge.
I'm almost thinking I'm gonna have to do the four sides of the two long sides.
and then deal with the ends?
Then deal with the ends. Fold
Yeah, I
them.
think you're right.
yeah, you'll have to fold them. I think.
It's gonna definitely have to fold it.
Yeah.
Should have made a circle. And then we just use a staple gun to staple around the top section, and we obviously aren't going to staple on the inside. That would put holes in it and it would leak. So the point of this is to make this tank waterproof, and therefore going to hold our water for us so that we can have it to drink and use in the cabin.
Can I put one right in the top of that thing right this?
This was a bit of a puzzle, but eventually we got it all in, and as good as we could anyways, and put over the edge, and then we cut off the excess and then added our cover on top. We had our cover in 3 sections so that it's easier to take off once it's underneath in the shed, and that we're able to just open up one side and look in and see how much water there is and not have to get an entire piece off that's that large and heavy. To get this under the cabin, we decided to put some logs and roll it a bit because it's quite heavy, and so we were able to get those logs in. Eric got inside the tank area, and then my grandfather and father pushed from the outside edge, and they got it inside and settled and sitting on the crushed rock ground that we leveled out before building the shed. The last step to completing this project at this stage was to get that end wall on, and the little holes that we have inside for airflow, we wanted to cover those up so nothing would get in there this winter before the whole cabin is skirted. Eventually we're going to have a door on the end, the same end as the door of the cabin, and that will be so we can open that up and go in and we can check out what the water's like, do anything that needs done in there. And also, I wanted to leave a little space at the entrance that if the temperature is right, I'm not sure if it will work out this way, but hopefully, if it happened to work out this way, that the temperature is around 5 degrees in there, I'll be able to store my root vegetables like a little makeshift root cellar. So now we have the water tank all in and sealed up and everything set for the winter. We'll be putting on in the spring our eaves trough and getting our water system all hooked up with our lines and everything so we can collect the rainwater and filter it and then be able to put it up into the taps into the kitchen. But that will be coming once we have rain again. Now we're into our snow season, which is so beautiful down here at the cabin. We'll be working lots more on the inside of the cabin, and I'm excited to share those videos with you.